All right, welcome everyone. So it is October 4th and we're doing a mini photo boot camp tonight. It's been a little while since we've actually worked with our photos on the first Wednesday of the month here with Consistently Creative Crew. So I'm here with Colleen Day, Cheryl Bliss, and again, I'm Kari Schick. So tonight we are going to be working on our photos and let's see if I can. Why did it not move forward? You know, technology is great when it works, right?
That's for sure.
All right, there we go. Now it's moving. Now I've got the buttons. Okay, so tonight I'm going to go over 4 different topics, and each topic I'll do a short demo, and I will demo on the phone and I will demo on the computer on the website so you can see both methods of doing it. And then I'm going to give you a little challenge and time 15 to 20 minutes to work on that particular topic. So tonight I'm focusing on uploading and creating albums, creating tags, and sharing. So the first topic for the night is uploading. And some of you who are here or watching the video may already be pros at this, but I'm going to demo how to upload, how to delete, and some of the sort features that are automatically available within Forever. And then I'm going to pause and start a timer, put on some music, and give you a challenge of uploading 50 photos or deleting some photos. So I'm going to, did it flip over to my Forever account so you can see that?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. So when you log into Forever and you log into your account, this is the screen that you're going to see. And in order to upload photos into your account, you're going to want to click on the library button, which is in the upper left-hand side of your screen. It's not in the top row of items. That's all the shopping and information with Forever. The second row or the second line is things that are about your personal items, be it your photos, your projects, the people you're connected to, etc. So we're going to focus right now on library. And once you go into your library, when you want to upload photos into here, you click on the blue upload button, which is still kind of in the upper left. And when you click on that, you have an option to select files. So you can drag files right into here from your laptop or your computer, whatever you're working on, or you can select the files by going and navigating to a folder on your computer. So I have a folder already set up and I am going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to upload these photos. So I selected all of them by selecting the first one and then holding down my shift key and selecting the last one. Or you can select any photo and then select Control A. And Control A will select everything that happens to be inside that folder. So either way, you can select everything and then you select Open. And now it's going to start uploading. And once it's done uploading, it will give me it'll display up here with this button that's finished. You could select to upload more or navigate to a different folder, add some different file types, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm just giving myself 100 photos to kind of work with. So that way, when I'm demoing some of the next steps, you can see how to do that. So now it says I'm done uploading and I can click that button and everything is up here. So now the photos that I uploaded were a while ago. So I want to show you how to navigate to those. So we have a couple of ways of sorting the photos before we've done any sophisticated tagging or writing description. So up here in the upper left area under the upload button, we have an order by. So you have some toggles here where you can sort by date taken, newest first, date taken, oldest first, upload date, newest first, or upload date, oldest first. So I'm going to sort it by upload date newest first so I can get those things that I just uploaded. And now I'm going to have the things that I just uploaded. And the thing that's at the top is actually going to be the last one that it uploaded. And the one that's down here at the bottom here is going to be the first one that it uploaded. So that's one thing that you can do with changing how it's displayed on your screen. So again, you can change the order by date taken or upload date, oldest first, newest first. The other thing you can do is you can also put a filter. So I'm going to just, I'm going to click on this photo and just go into it, and we'll talk more about coming in here later, but the date taken on this photo is January 30th, 2014. So I am going to filter by year 2014. And why does it say no? Oh, because it wasn't uploaded that day, right? So I'm going to go newest first. And now I'm going to go by things that were actually done in 2014. So you can see here are these photos that I have that are uploaded from 2014. So again, it didn't show originally because I had it ordered by upload date and as if it were in 2014. So this is date taken, newest first. If I want to go to the beginning of the year, I can go to date taken, oldest first. So now I'm starting with January 1st, 2014, and then going in chronological order. I could narrow it down by date, but since I just uploaded a bunch of things in January, I could pick February and I have a video up here. I could pick a different month and I might not have anything because I primarily just uploaded January items. The other thing that you can do from the main menu before doing anything else is I could sort things based on the file type. So if you go over to the right-hand side across from the upload button, there's a drop-down menu that allows you to select things by favorites, whether they were put in an album, whether they were tagged, whether they were neither tagged nor in an album. You can also show only photos, videos, audio, projects, or documents. So you can kind of sort your way through these. So if I just show only videos, these are the videos that are uploaded from 2014. If I want to just look at photos, these are the photos that are here. So all of these things that I just showed you, you can do pretty much the same way within the app. So again, you can upload via the upload button. You can rearrange the order that it's displayed on the screen. You can filter by year, both by year and month, and you can change what file type you're displaying based on using this drop-down menu. So any questions about the computer part before I switch over to the phone, which is going to be very similar, but I'm just going to try to show you where things are on the screen. All right. Okay, let me share screen. Hopefully it will let me share screen. All right. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen, my home screen on my phone now. And there is a forever icon that's in my bottom row, and it's a white square with a green and teal swoosh on it. So if I open up my forever app, I have it set on automatic upload, so it would upload anything that is in my camera roll that I have not already uploaded. But the way you would upload it is that there is a button about midway down the screen that is a green plus. It's right next to the words that show all, but it is the plus sign, which means that you're going to upload additional ones. So when I click on that, it'll take me to my camera roll. And I can go into my camera roll and I can click on any of those photos. I can click on them individually. I can click on a whole group of them. And you select them by clicking on either the arrow, the check mark at the end of the row by the across from the date, or in the little faded out circle that's in the upper right hand corner of the photos. You could navigate to other albums on your phone by clicking the folder icon, which is in the upper right hand corner. So if you wanted to go into a specific folder on your phone, you could actually go in there and then select any of those. And that is how you'd upload. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add those to the library. It's going to probably say, you can probably add that one in, and then I am done. So now that's how you upload from the home screen. Then to look at things in the library, like I was showing, you click on the library button across the bottom. You can see there's a home, there's a library, there's connections, and then there's activity. So the home, if I go into the library, which is right next to that, it's displaying everything in order. And in the upper right-hand corner, there are 3 dots, 3 vertical dots. And when you click on that, you get the option of filtering by, ordering by, or zooming in. So the filtering by allows you to get to, you can show any of your file types, or you can show things by a year or by a month. So similar to what I did before, I'll do photos, and I'm going to do 2014, and I'll leave it at months alls, and then I'm going to apply it. And now you can kind of see that it displays a lot of the same things that what I had before. But let's say I want to order it by the date taken and the oldest first. So now I click on that, and now it should show me that same photo from January 1st that we were looking at on my computer. So all the same functions, all of the same things, they're just in a slightly different place. If you want to upload from here in your library, there is a green plus sign up on the top line up by the magnifying glass, and you do the same thing. You click it and then get into your camera roll. So any questions about uploading photos when you're in the phone app?
I have a question.
Yes.
So if I want to upload photos from my phone, but I have already uploaded some, do I have to click the first one and the last one I want done like you were doing before? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then the other question is, if I don't select it properly, will it upload things twice?
No, because if you notice when I go into my camera roll, there is a green line across the bottom of some of those images. And it actually says forever in there, which means that it knows that it has that photo already in my storage account.
Okay.
So it won't duplicate.
Okay.
All right. Very good questions.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. I'm going to show one other thing, which you really only do using the app, is how to do the automatic uploads. So to do that, you go to the hamburger menu, which is in the upper left-hand corner. And you can do this backup iPhone button. So it's the second item down. And do you want to back it up? Do you want to include videos? So if you click yes, back up my iPhone, it will take everything that you have and back it up to your Forever account. If you're like me, you may not have enough storage in order to back up your entire phone, because I have way too many pictures. But you might be able to do that depending on how many photos you have. You may want to include videos. You may not want to include videos. So depends on what your situation is, whether you want to have that set up. The other thing is in the settings. So again, the same place, the hamburger menu, the settings, which is the second from the bottom item. You have the very top thing is auto syncing. So you can allow it to auto sync all of the most recent items. So everything new will be synced up to your Forever Storage account every time you open up the app. It doesn't run in the background. You actually have to have the app open. You can allow it to include videos or not include videos. You can also select whether you want it to only upload when you're connected to Wi-Fi or cellular data. So depending on your storage plan, depending on what you're doing, this is a good option for a lot of people. So I wanted to point it out here. Obviously, you can't really sync your phone through the computer website. The best way to do it is via the app. The other nice thing about doing it via the app is if your phone is set to take an image in anything other than a JPEG, it will convert it to a JPEG. So anybody who's taking photos in HEIC format, it will automatically convert it to JPEG and upload it. And you don't need to go through a special converter for that. All right. Any other questions? Okay, that was the longest session. So now I'm going to set up a timer for about 15 minutes, and I'm going to pause the recording so everybody can start working. Okay, so we just finished our segment on uploading some photos and showing the different ways you can view and sort items from your library. So we're going to move on now to albums. So I want to show you how to create albums, how to nest albums inside other albums, and how to add or move photos into that. I'm going to demo the process on the computer, and just in the interest of time, I'm going to kind of talk through it on the phone because it's pretty much the same thing. So I have my phone open here, and I'll try to describe it as I'm going through. But if I have any questions or it doesn't make any sense, just let me know. So go back to this screen. Okay, so we're going to go into albums, creating nesting, and adding and moving photos into that. So I'm going to minimize that. So hopefully you can see my screen again, and I'm back in my library. I'm viewing those 2014 photos that I just looked at. So now I'm going to be focusing on albums because I've got a bunch of photos up there. So the second line row of items here at the top, you've got library, then albums. So now we're going to move over to albums, and we're going to click on that. If you're working on your phone, it's the similar thing. You're in your library, which is you get to by going across the bottom. There's home, then library, then connections, activity. So you click on library on the bottom of your screen, and then at the top of your screen, you'll have 3 tabs: library, albums, and tags. And if you click on albums there at the top, you'll be looking at pretty much the same thing as I'm looking at. So on the albums, if you want to create an album because you don't have any albums, you're going to click on add a new album. So it's the plus sign, and it is the same thing on the app. You've got a plus sign up in the up top, and you're going to end your screen is going to look just a little bit different, but the same items are there. You have a place to put the album name. You can put an album description. If you have a specific date that you would like to use for it, you can do that. I'm not really going to cover those tonight. Privacy settings. I am really not going to focus on various privacy settings, but if you're already familiar with things, you're welcome to use those tonight. But I would recommend for right now leaving things as private if you have not been adjusting any privacy settings. So you can create a new album. So I'm going to create one called Temp Demo. And I'm going to put a bunch of A's at the top of it, so it ends up being near the top of my list so I can find it for right now, which is something I will commonly do when I'm working on things and I want to make certain I don't have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, or because I've got quite a few albums here. So I'm giving it this name at the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and create that. And you can see it takes me right into that album. And once you're in that album, you can use some things across the top here by adding files and sharing, and we'll talk about some of that later. You've also got this shaded area, which I'm circling with my mouse, that says add files to this album. You can click upload and upload new files directly into this album, or you can click add files because things are already in forever. So the upload would be the same thing. It would look just like the screen that we looked at before, where you'd select files by either dragging and dropping or navigating to something on your computer. Or you can click add files to things that are already on your in your Forever account. So I'm going to add a couple of photos here. You can select them individually, or you can hold down your Shift key and click on the first one and the last one. And if you notice, you've got a number of options here. You can navigate to different parts of your library, albums. You can sort just like what we were doing before. But once you've selected them, you can add those to an album. So you can see I've added these 5 images to my album. It's very similar in the app. And you can do the exact same things, same functionality within the app. If you would like to add another album within this album, and this is a very poor example, but I'm going to just give something here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to have some photos from Ohio trip. And I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to put Michigan trip. So these 2 albums, Michigan trip and Ohio trip, are under this temp demo album that I have. That will allow me to sort things into various portions of a trip. You can do whatever you'd like with albums. It really is helpful for the organization standpoint of being able to find things. And it's allowing you to just work with your photos that are in your account without having to look at everything all together. If you are now in your account, or now you're in the album and you don't have that little shaded thing because you've already added some photos into it, you can always add files from the top here. There's the 3rd row of pieces of information and buttons. You've got an add file. So again, you can navigate to any part of your Forever account and add them, or you can even upload them by using the plus button in the upper right-hand corner. The other way you can do it is if you're in your library and you want to add some specific photos to an album, and you're working here, I could say, oh, I want to add all of these photos that have our dog Cream in them. And I'm selected all of them, and I can add them to an album. And I will put them in that same temp demo one, and I can do it that way. So you can be within the album and add them. You can be in your library and add them, either way. So I am going to think that was everything I was going to cover. Does anybody, I know I have a number of people working on the app. Do you want me to go into the app right now and share that? Or was it fairly obvious if you were working in your app?
I think I'm okay, Kari.
Okay.
I'm okay in the app, but I don't know if anybody else.
All right. Well, before we pause the recording, I will just go into the app, but those of you who are ready, go ahead and create an album and put some photos in it. Don't worry too much about whether it's exactly the way you want it to be, but at least practice going ahead and doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and set one up here. So I'm going into my annual memories. I'm going to create adding an album here.
Will it tell you if you duplicate photos in the album?
Yes, it will.
Okay, so like I'm adding some of the photos from my Ireland trip, but
yes,
in case I forget where I left off, which is
Yes,
or
it will have a
possible that you would
green
know.
bar across the bottom when you go in and try to upload them again.
got it.
And it will say items are already duplicated.
Okay, that's good news. Good news. Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so sorry.
So I am navigating in. I've got an album here, and I'm going to end up working on it from my laptop because it'll be easier for me to select the 100 and something photos. But again, you do the same thing. You're adding via the 3 dots here at the top, and the plus sign. All right, I'm going to pause the recording. All right, so we just finished creating some albums, nesting some albums. Everybody here was successful with that, and everybody gave themselves a nice pat on the back. So I am going to share my screen, and we are going to move on to the next part. And we're going to talk about tagging. So we're going to tag photos and tell a little bit of story. We're not going to do a lot with this. We're not going to overthink about what the right tags are. We're just going to do the mechanics of it tonight and have you just tag a photo or two and tell the story on one photo. So I'm going to go back into here. So I am going to pick here. Okay, so I've got this photo here. This is a photo of our dog. So you're just going to pretend that I don't already have a tag on this photo because I've brought it in with a tag. So when you want to tag something, you can do it a couple of different ways. So you can select all the photos that you want, and you can add tags to that photo. So you can select them all, then select add tags at the top. And when you do that, you can actually, when I start, it's going to come up with everything that I've got that starts with CRE. So that's our dog Cream, and I'm going to add tags. So that's one way of doing it, which is nice when you're doing a whole lot of images at the same time that we're all with the same people, place, or family member, whoever. If you're doing them more individually, when you select one photo, you can still do that. You got add tags at the top. Sometimes if you have a photo that has a lot of people in it and you want to tag all the people, it's really hard to see everybody who's in the photo. So you would open the photo up, go into what we call the light box, and then in the middle of the right-hand side of the screen, you've got this area that says tags. You can go add tags and you can type things in here. So I'm going to tag it with my other dog's name, but I'm just not going to save it. So that's how I'd add a new tag to this image. Okay, so I'd click save. And since I know that I made a mistake here, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to say, oops, that's the wrong dog. And I'm going to select it and click on the X next to it and take off cookie. So if you make a mistake, it's very easy to go ahead and change it. Same process on the phone. Things are in a little bit different location, but you've still got the same pieces of things that you can do. It still has the same functionality. If there's a story behind this, I'm going to go ahead and click on edit info. I'm going to type something here in the description. So I'm going to say Cream was never a good lap dog until she got too old to move off our laps when we captured.
Is that the truth, Kari?
That is the truth.
That's hilarious.
When we capture her. So we referred to it as capturing the dogs, and when she couldn't get away, she couldn't escape. So, but when she got older, she just couldn't leave. So I'm going to save. So that's the story kind of behind this photo. So what I want you to do is take the next 10 minutes and pick a photo, any photo, put a tag or two on it, and put a description on it. Again, we're trying the mechanics of this. We're not going for what do you want for the next generation. We're just seeing that you can do this and that you know how to do it. And it works for you both on either on the app, which you're trying, or on the computer interface. All right. Yes, go ahead.
The description, I know you said you just put a little story down, but is
If
that,
there isn't,
what would you use a description for?
so I will share my screen back again. So I use descriptions a lot of times for videos. Sometimes the video isn't obvious. So this was like what's in the video as far as, Becca was playing this song here. Video of our house construction where I've got a little bit more information. This was a silly squirrel that we used to feed in our apartment. So maybe a description about it.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more verbiage than just a tag. Sometimes our photos have a story about it, or sometimes it's an heirloom that you just, somebody's going to see a quilt and going to go, okay, it's a quilt. Well, maybe it was made by grandma and given as a gift to a certain person. So maybe there's a story that you need to tell or want to tell.
Got it.
Does that help?
Yep, it does. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions before we pause the recording? All right, 10 minutes and we'll be back. All right, so we didn't get through everything that I had thought about tonight because I think I talked too long early on trying to show both the computer and the phone screen. But we did get to practice uploading. We did get to practice creating albums and nested albums. We did get an opportunity to work on tags and some description. We didn't do any sharings, but that's okay. That's fine. We'll work on it another time. So for the people who are here, can you just tell me, did you make some progress tonight?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome.
I
Yes.
uploaded albums. I did tags.
Yes. Awesome. So, and anything outstanding still that we want to put on the recording? If not, any question? I don't think there were any questions that really came up that we need to put on here. So thank you so much for joining us. For those of you here tonight, hang tight. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. And for those of you who are watching the recording, we hope you found this helpful and look forward to seeing you in November for the first Wednesday of the month photo time. Thanks again for joining us and happy cropping.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Kari.
Kari.